Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Mike McDonald, and I'm the president of Kid Venture Camps. And I have the distinct privilege of having with me Miss Molly Bent, camp coordinator for Austin. Molly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. A little gloomy today, but
It's rain.
you
We
know,
need it. I'll
we do
take
need
it.
it.
It's
I
hard to get out of
makes me
bed
just
though
want to
when it's
sleep.
raining, though. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Um, I don't mind it at all, to be honest with you. And it's like what, 65 degrees, something like that.
Oh no, it's like 50 degrees outside right
It's
now.
pretty cold. It's
Yeah.
like exactly what we dream of when it's about July the 15th, right? Okay, so relish in it then. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, we appreciate everybody being here with us today. Thank y'all very much. This is one in a series of live streams that we put together to help educate and inform our parents and families about the upcoming 29th summer season of Kid Venture Camps. And today, specifically, we're going to be talking about the Explorers. Explorers are our school age camp program, and we're really not going to talk about anything else except for that. Our goal in the live stream today is to provide you with just about as much information as we can. What we don't provide you with, you have the opportunity to ask questions because we will have a Q&A towards the end. So anytime during the live stream, please feel free to put those questions in the comment section. That's what we'll use to refer back to, and we'll answer those questions at the tail end of this. And I think with that, let's get going, Molly. This is our agenda for today. So before we get going with everything, I'm gonna show you guys the video. This is our 2023 hype video, which we'll show you here in just a second. After that, we're gonna talk about the basics. What does it mean to be an explorer? What are sort of the tenets of the Explorer program? And then it's time to get in the weeds. So we'll talk about curriculum. Uh, First, philosophically, how do we approach curriculum? What does that mean for us? What are we trying to achieve in our goals? We'll talk about the specific activities, including everything that we do on campus and then the field trip program. Then we're going to shift our attention to packing list. I mean, how do you come to camp successful, right? What do you need to bring with you? How do you need to dress in order to have a successful, healthy, happy time at camp? And then we'll talk about what I think is probably one of the most important parts of summer camp for your child especially, and that's the camp team, right? And then after that, we'll turn our attention to that Q&A, answer any questions you have, and we'll go from there. All right. So with that, let's go to the video. Enjoy.
Growing up is a journey.
It's an adventure.
Along this journey, our kids will grow, they will learn, and they will experience the world around them.
Those experiences and those opportunities that they're a part of will help shape who they are and what they will become.
This is Kid Venture. Kids need the chance to explore their world, to sing out loud.
To take a chance on something new.
Kids need to believe that nothing is impossible.
To be part of something important.
To help someone up.
To unplug
And plug in to one another.
And kids need to be with role models who want to make a difference in your child's life.
Kids need camp now more than ever.
For 29 years, Kid Venture has been helping parents shape these opportunities and providing for the type of experiences that build confidence, that teach kindness, and foster lasting friendships for our children. Join us at one of our many day camps in Austin, Dallas, or Houston, or our overnight camp programs in the Texas Hill Country. We invite you to be a part of this life-changing adventure we call Kid Venture.
All right. I kind of never get tired of that video, by the way.
I know you don't.
I think my favorite part of that video is, and I don't know if everybody who watches this recognizes it, with you sitting right there, one where you have the shaving cream all over your face.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite
Yeah.
part of that video, I think.
That was a fun one. The camper we sit there to get pied in the face on. She kind of came in from I wasn't ready and I was turning my face and she got me on the side.
Nothing like getting shaving cream out of your hair and your ear for like the next 2 days, right?
It's all part of camp. You smell that shaving cream for the next week. It's great.
I will tell you, it's better than whipped cream.
Oh, yeah.
Because whipped cream really quickly in the summertime goes south. So you better really have it off everywhere, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes we go out there to car line because it happens right before our closing ceremonies, and we still have, the shaving cream on us. So
it's good luck.
If you see us with that at a pickup line, you'll know why.
All right, let's talk about the basics. What is an explorer? Why don't you take this one, Molly, and give us sort of the tenets of what an explorer is.
So an explorer, like we said before, is our school-aged kiddos. So these are kids that are entering first grade. So this right here, right now, they're in kindergarten, and they will be entering first grade come next fall. And then also entering fifth graders, rising fifth graders, or our red shirts, as we call them, because we'll have our blue shirts, which are our discoverers, and our red shirts, which are our explorers. We have a low ratio of 1 counselor per 10 campers. So you have those small groups of 10 campers with their 1 counselor for the week. All our groups are co-ed, and they're all age appropriate and scaled. So that means that all of my 6-year-olds are going to be together. They won't be with 10-year-olds. So we're going to keep it kind of age appropriate. So we can kind of fix those games and those activities based on those ages. And we have the same counselor all week, and we will combine those groups at times. So you'll have your 1 to 10 small group, and then another group of 10 will rotate with as well. They're all the same age.
So Molly, I know a question that comes up a lot for parents is, can I have my child with their friend or their cousin or whatever in camp? Can you talk a little bit about that when it comes to the grouping?
Yeah. So when you register for camp, there'll be a section that says, do you have a buddy at camp? And to write their name. So when we go to create those groups, we are going to look at those buddy requests, and we're also going to look at ages. So if brother, sister, cousin is the same age, 6, 7, most likely they'll be in the same group. However, if I have a 6-year-old who has a buddy request with a 10, 11-year-old, they will not be put together just because it's not age appropriate and safe. Sometimes we'll say, I will never bring a 6-year-old up to those older groups. Sometimes we'll say, all right, we'll bring that 11-year-old down to the 6-year-olds. And they're not going to have a good time. So kind of keep that in mind when you're putting in those buddy requests. Sometimes, too, kind of think about their ratios and our staff and everything. Those buddy requests might not be in the same small group, but they might be in that same rotating group. So they are still going to complete all those activities together and be with each other all day. They might just have the same small group.
Okay. Sounds great. Thanks for explaining that. And we all get together for certain things, like, whether that's opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, lunch might be another opportunity where we get together, field trip, those kind of things like that. So great. I appreciate that. Well, that sort of sets the stage for what we want to talk about next, and that's curriculum. And before we sort of go into specifically what your camper will be doing during the week, we've kind of created our own curriculum over the many years we've been running camp, and we approach it this way. What is it a kid does naturally or needs to do in order to grow happy and healthy as a kid? What are those things that help our kids grow and learn and socialize well? That's sort of how we started out with the 4 cornerstones. And we came down to 4 things for us that we feel are essential to a kid's growth, wherever it is. And for us, those are these 4 things. The first is physical activity. And those are all the things that you think of as physical activities, whether that's athletics or camp games or moving our bodies, gross motor skills, whatever it might be. The next is exploration. We believe that kids need to explore their world, right? Through that opportunity for exploration, they discover new things, they problem solve, they take risks. It's essential, I think, to being a kid, right? The third is creativity. Kids are just naturally curious, right? And we want to provide opportunities for them to utilize that side of the brain and be creative, both independently and in groups. And the last is reflection, right? We don't often think about this because maybe we're not reflecting on it. But so much of our kids go and do and do and do, but we don't actually stop and take the opportunity to think about what we did. And so we create opportunities in camp for reflection. An obvious one way maybe would be yoga, for example. But ribbon ceremonies, when we're talking about why did I get this award? What did we do? When we're doing team building and we're debriefing on communication or problem solving or trust, those are all opportunities for reflection. And those 4 cornerstones take place at camp every week. Some of them cross over, but everything that we do is going to fall underneath one of those cornerstones. Okay, and let me kind of explain too as well, camp for us isn't just camp in the moment. Camp is obviously a lot of fun and exciting, and there's a lot of adventure when it's taking place. But I think more importantly for us is what is it we're doing and what kind of outcome is that going to provide for our kids, right? Because that's what we're most concerned with. When your child walks away from camp at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the summer, what have they learned? What have they gained? How have they grown from that experience? And when we think about it that way, then we plan our curriculum with more purpose and more intent, right? Because we want your child to become more independent. We want your child to have a greater sense of self-esteem and self-worth. We want your child to know how to better foster and create relationships. But that doesn't just happen by chance. That happens, it's maximized when we plan specific activities with that outcome in mind. And that really is something that's unique about KidVenture and something I think that it's important for everyone to know. We're very purposeful in the planning of our curriculum. Okay. That was pretty long-winded, wasn't it?
You're good. I just want to mention one thing about the curriculum as well for our explorers. Something new this year is we're bringing Curriculum Plus, which is amazing. It's going to be those multi-day projects, so a little bit more hands-on, takes them a little bit more longer to complete it, instead of, I'm coming home with a new paper plate project every single week. So it's a little bit more purposeful, using, a bunch of different skills to do things. So we are really excited about implementing this new phase of curriculum, and they still have all of those cornerstones focused in each activity.
Absolutely. And speaking of activity, let's talk about that right now. We're going to go through a variety of activities that we'll do during the week, and so you have an idea. And I've used images to kind of help you understand that. Team building is a big part of what we do. We've done it always. We believe that in order to teach trust, cooperation, problem solving, goal setting, you got to actually do things to make that happen. And so we implement team building in camp. We do a variety of different fun games and, activities. And each of them focuses on that. So that's a part of definitely what we do. Archery. Yes, archery is probably one of the kids' favorite things that we do. It is not a traditional archery situation like you think. The arrows are not pointed. They have a big, let's call it a marshmallow on the end of it. And the kids wear protective headgear. But they love that. And archery is a big part of sort of the curriculum during the week. Camp games. How many camp games do you think we have? Hundreds of camp games, right, that we play at camp. Mm-hmm. Everything from Gaga to 9 Square in the Air, which you see right there, to, you name it. Camp games are a big part of what we do, both indoor and outdoor. Special events and parties. Carnival days on Fridays, for example. Those are real popular at camp. Opening, closing ceremonies every day. We are very energetic. We tend to be loud. We tend to move our bodies a lot, and there's music and all that kind of thing, because that's the way camp should be. It's a very spirited environment. Molly was talking about this. This is Curriculum Plus, and it's new for this year. These are projects that run the course of more than one day, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days across the week. They tend to be projects that involve a lot of different steps in them. We're super excited about this. Each week will be very different. We don't repeat that same project from week to week, but I think this is something that we've been working towards for a while now, and are excited about bringing this out for this summer. Field sports and athletics, these are more the traditional things that you think of. Think of soccer, think of field hockey or whatever it might be. We do a variety of different athletic and sports games during the week. know I have a few more in here. Hang on, I think. Camp awards. You want to talk about that, Molly?
Yeah. So we have a tradition. Every Friday, we have our camper of the week. We actually have 2 campers of the week. And we just recognize those campers that have just, gone above and beyond. And they'll get a certificate at the end of the week and a Frisbee as well that all of their counselors sign. It's super exciting. They'll come running to their car and saying, like, our camper of the week. It's a lot of fun. Other awards that we do are our ribbon ceremony that we kind of briefly talked about. And this is when all the kiddos will get together in their group and we'll create ribbons for each other. So I've seen campers that have been coming with us for years and they still have ribbons tied on their backpack from years past. So these are things that, we notice about every camper. So every camper feels recognized, and kind of going to that reflection piece and thinking about what did I do awesome this week? What did my friends and my peers and my counselors see me do awesome this week, and recognize that for them.
Yeah, certainly a big part of what we do for sure is recognizing our campers. The last event that I want to note is field trips. So when you're an explorer, you are now old enough to go on a field trip. We take field trips each week, once a week. They are typically on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but the newsletter specifies that for you exactly. Every week is different. We travel to a variety of different places. We travel on buses that are air conditioned and have seat belts as well. We have done field trips now for 29 years. It is probably one of the kids' favorite activities during the week, I think for obvious reasons. Although they love the buses, if they just drove around in the buses and we cranked up the stereo, they'd think that was the coolest field trip in the world too. But we actually really go a bunch of really neat places. And I think I have a few. Yeah, let me show you some of these. Let's see here. Or maybe I don't have those pictures. I thought I did. Oh, yeah, I do have them. Here we go. These are all just different places. Rock climbing gym, for example. The baseball field, whether that might be in Houston or the Dell Diamond in Austin. This is at Aquarium, is it not? I believe.
Yes, this is the Austin Aquarium. We went last year. We're going to go again this year, and the kids had the opportunity to actually feed the stingrays, which was really fun.
Very cool. And then because we're larger than a lot of groups or other camp programs, we tend to have the opportunity to rent out entire facilities, which we love, by the way. It's easy to organize our kids. It's custom made for us, whether that's a place like Altitude or a place like that. We will go to those kind of places in the summertime as well. I want to go back, though, to here, and just so I can make sure everybody knows, field trips are once a week. When we leave, whether that's a Wednesday or Thursday, we're approximately gone from about 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Very important always for you to be on time at camp, but specifically field trips. There's probably nothing like driving up and being late and the bus is already left. So make note of that for sure. Once again, our buses all have seat belts, they all have air conditioning, and all of our trips are local in that area. Anything to add to that, Molly?
Yeah. So just, to note that with our field trips, we are very organized. We don't just kind of show up to a place and tell the kids, go, have fun. We have them all in rotations with their groups as they would at camp. So we are still kind of dividing them up and they're still within their groups. So we're not kind of just running amok. Another thing to note is, wear that red shirt every day, but especially on field trips. This is another safety measure that we do, making sure all our campers are in their red KV shirts. This also is great for our vendors when we're there and helps them identify, who we are, who the kid is with. So making sure that we do have those red shirts, which is really important for those field trips. And of course, if you have any questions about any specific field trip, please give your local office a call and we can walk you through that. Majority of our field trips are posted online. I think, some places we might be missing one or two, but majority of them are booked. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call and we'll walk you through it.
Yeah, great point. Thanks very much, Molly. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's turn our attention to coming to camp. And how do we come to camp? What do we wear? What does that look like? Because we all know coming to camp with the proper attire on and bringing the proper water bottle just provides a greater opportunity for success and health at camp. So we want to touch on that a little bit today. This is a packing list, pretty much in general. First thing is the official camp shirt. All of our kids wear the official Kid Venture shirt, which can be purchased at the camp store. Everyone who attends camp in the summertime will get a free shirt. We will be sending a coupon code out at the end of this month. You'll be able to go onto the store and pick up that shirt and plug that coupon code in, and it will pay for one of those shirts. I always recommend a couple shirts because we wear a shirt every day. You got one, and then you got another one that you can wash. So it's probably a good idea to do that. Athletic wear, so shorts, tennis shoes, socks, no flip-flops or Crocs or things like that. We are running and playing and are active, and we need those kids to be in appropriate apparel to do all of those great things. Sunscreen. And when I mean sunscreen, I don't necessarily mean just bring the sunscreen. We ask our parents to please apply that sunscreen to their child before they come to camp. If depending on what we're doing that day, if we're out a lot more, we'll reapply later on in the day. But we want you guys to make sure you please come to camp in sunscreen. A lunch. Definitely want to bring a lunch if you're not ordering from the camp menu. Okay, so for Houston and Austin, we have a catered lunch program. It's exceptional, by the way. It's offered Monday through Friday. There are some options to that. For individual days, you can go to your city landing page and see that. But we've had a lot of success with our catered lunch program. Very kid appropriate, but also made from scratch and very healthy, which we're big proponents of. A water bottle. Probably one of the most important things at camp, and I brought the Kid Venture water bottle just to show you. So this is the one that you can actually purchase online at the store. It's a vacuum-sealed aluminum water bottle, holds ice all day long. It's a great water bottle. But more importantly, I think, or just as importantly, it's got a large mouth at the top. It's got the flip top with the straw down below. We have found over many years that this is the water bottle that works best for kids, right? They don't have to take the top off. They can drink from it easily. It doesn't spill. They can close it back up. When they get home at the end of the day, you don't have a big puddle in the bottom of their backpack with water. We are constantly pushing water. We're hydrating our kids. We have water breaks and restroom breaks scheduled throughout the day. So having that water bottle is essential to helping your child stay healthy at camp. So I urge you, get one like ours, get another one. It doesn't really matter, but get one and put your name on it. In fact, put your name on everything. A bag to keep everything in, right? So they're going to have all these things. They need someplace to keep it, and we need the opportunity to be able to organize that stuff well for your child. And so having a backpack or a bag to keep their towel, their water bottle in, everything else is really essential. And then the last one is swimsuit. Some sites are swim sites, some sites aren't, but we'll have splash days and certain things sometimes that aren't. And we'll note those in the newsletter. If that's the case, then we'll need you to arrive in a swimsuit and then with an extra change of clothes so that they can get back into their regular camp clothing. Did I miss anything in there, Molly?
Don't think so, but just to reiterate, to please label everything. First and last name, no initials. A lot of kids have the same initials. So please keep all of those just so our lost and found is a little bit more manageable and we get the correct items to the correct family.
Yeah, I had one of these live streams yesterday and we talked about labeling, and I think there's probably still a couple items that I had when I was younger that I, for whatever reason, held on to that probably have my name in there from my mom because my mom put my name in everything, and I mean everything. But always a great idea, please. All right.
One thing that we are missing, if it is a swim site or splash day, pack a towel and label that towel as well with your name.
Yeah, good idea. Optional items your child might want to bring or needs to bring. The first is medications, right? So if your child is on medications, they're taking those medications during camp time, then we want to continue with that, obviously. Those medications just need to be turned in on Monday morning with the medical dosage form that we provide you. You can get that off the website right now, or there's a link in your confirmation email as well from registering for camp. Those medications will be dispensed per your instructions on that medical dosage form to your camper by the director. Those medications then will be locked in our medical box during the week. Okay, so keep that in mind. No medications can come in a plastic bag. They need to be in their original container. Okay, so note that. 2 is a hat. I'm almost always in a hat. I love wearing a hat. It keeps the sun off my face. It keeps me cooler. And so if your kid is the kind of kid that will wear a hat, I urge you that's a great thing to do at camp. And then snack. Now, we provide a snack for all of our campers once a day for our explorers, twice a day if they're coming to post camp, because we'll do another snack in post camp. But I still have some kids that really want to bring their own snack, right? They love their own snack. Our snacks are peanut-free, or nut-free. But if you still want to send a snack, when we do snack time, they'll be able to pull that snack out and have that with us, and there you go. What not to bring? No electronics, no toys, no mobile devices, right? Camp is about being with people and not about being behind screens and being with toys. We got plenty of things to do at camp, and we want to create opportunities for kids to foster new relationships and not sit behind a Game Boy. Did I miss anything there, Molly?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Those medications include just making sure if you do have a medication, EpiPen, inhaler, on Monday morning to please hand it to our staff at Carline. Please don't leave it in your camper's backpack. Please hand it to us.
Yeah, and I think there's a question in the comments section from Sarah and I think it's probably a good time to address that. We have kids with epinephrine who come with EpiPen, or albuterol is another one. Those items will travel with their counselor, with that child at all times. From the beginning of the day to the end of the day, whether we're on campus or we are on a field trip, that all of our counselors are briefed on all of their kids in their group, any special needs, any medications, any things like that, they'll know, and those are noted on the back of their badge, which I'll talk about here in just a second when I shift our attention to the team. But rest assured, if it's an EpiPen, it's going to be traveling with that counselor, with that camper at all times. Okay, great question, by the way. Thank you, Sarah, for bringing that up. Okay. The most important part of summer camp, I'm going to preach it all day long, is the quality of the camp counselor. That is where the magic happens. If you ask your child what they remember most about camp after camp is over, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say a counselor's name if they did it right. And it's because that counselor is an influential part of your kids' camp experience, right? They're helping foster relationships between them and between other campers. They're being a mentor to your camper. There's somebody they aspire to be because they're energetic, they're fun-loving, they want to share their time and their talents with your camper. And it is by far the most important thing that we work on at KidVenture is the training, the recruiting, and the maintaining of the quality of our summer camp counselors. I will tell you that the vast majority of those camp counselors are education majors, kinesiology-related fields, right? Why? Because they want to be with kids, right? And we recognize that. So we do a lot of work with like the University of Texas and U of H and TCU and in their education departments. We try to recruit hard there because we want people who want to make a difference in the lives of kids in the first place, right? And they just simply have this amazing opportunity during the summer where they get to let their hair down and be a camp counselor. It's perfect. All of our camp counselors, all of our staff are adults. They are all first aid and CPR certified. That is not a requirement of the state to have a licensed camp program. All you're required to do is have one. We, for 29 years, have believed that everybody should be first aid and CPR certified. All of them go through a lot of training. You will notice that camp for us begins on June the 5th. We could run camp that week before, but we choose not to because we chose instead to train our staff all that week. We think it's that important. All of our staff are in uniform, and they have a badge. That badge is real big. I wish I had one on me. It's real big, goes around their neck. On the front side, it has their name, so you know exactly who they are. On the flip side, what you can't see are the list of all the campers in their group and any special needs that they might have or need to be noted, okay? And that's what our staff sort of wear and how they look. And most importantly, they love what they do. I mean, that, you know, being a camp counselor is an amazing thing. And it's important that you know that they are there to serve not only your child, but you as well. And I know they don't do that actively because they don't get to see you a lot, but we try to put them in front of you as much as possible. That mainly happens at drop-off and pickup time, right? So when they're out there and you see that name and you recognize that name, say hi to them. They'll try to approach you from time to time to let you know how things are going with their kid. If you ever need to reach out to your counselor, let the director know or let us know in the office and we'll make that happen. Anything to add to that, Molly?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything on that one.
All right. All right, there you go. I'm going to switch our attention to Q&A. I don't know if we have any more questions on here, but I'll take a look. Sandra is always so quick about getting in there and answering questions before we can. She cuts us off at the pass all the time.
Yep.
Thank you, Sandra, for doing that. We appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about, and I'll if you still have questions, you can put them in there. Registration is taking place. At some of our campsites, we are full with a wait list. If you find that you are trying to get into a campsite that has a wait list, get on the wait list because people move. They go on vacation, things change, and we're constantly moving that wait list. In fact, that wait list is automated. So as soon as someone cancels out of that week, it immediately notifies that next person on the list. This is where a lot of registrations come in April and May. People start figuring out their summer. They know what they're going to do, and they start signing up. So the sooner that you sign up and lock in those weeks, the better. You can always add more weeks. That's not a problem as long as there's availability. But we would hate for you guys to be locked out of the weeks that you are wanting to get into. Anything to add to that, Molly?
No, I know there's some, sites that might be a little bit closer and you want one and one has a wait list and one does not. I would recommend if you really need childcare for that week and you're on a wait list at one site, I would suggest kind of hopping in and registering for another site just in case. Yeah. And if a spot doesn't open does open at your desired site, we can transfer you from from the site you were able to get into that wait list site free of charge. So if you do really need childcare, I would suggest hopping into another site that's kind of close to the other one, and we can transfer you easily.
Yeah, good point. Sarah has a question in there. She's asking about post-camp. So let me back up a little bit. Official camp time is going to be 8 to 3 o'clock. Okay, drop-off's a little before 8. Camp is officially over at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we do car line, right? Except for post-camp kids. Post-camp is from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It is available Monday through Friday every week. It's a flat rate of $40, I believe. You can use as much of it or as little of it as you want, but it's there for you. Post-camp is a little bit different. Our day is really structured from 3 to 6 for the most part, minus free play and some things like that. So we give the kids some more choices during post-camp. So we set up what we call zones. Could be an athletic zone, could be an art center. It could be games. It could be a variety of different things. And we give those kids more of the freedom to choose during that post-camp time from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. A lot of kids come to post-camp, and post-camp tends to grow, too, by the end of the summer, it seems like to me, because kids, I think they want to hang out more at camp. You can sign up for post-camp now if you know that you're going to need it, right? A lot of my working parents, they just know they're going to need it. And so definitely sign up for it. But if you don't know that you need it, you can always add it, okay? Because we max out at a certain site. There's no max for the post-camp, right? If you're registered for a certain week, you can register for post-camp at the last minute. It's not a big deal, okay? I hope that answers your question, Sarah. Any more questions on there? Where can we find pricing information? Absolutely. So if you go to the landing page, well, that's Austin, Houston, Dallas, and you click on your campsite, there's a drop-down menu where the summer camp registration button is. If you click on that, click on your site, okay? And all the specifics are going to be there for your camp. The dates, the field trips, the pricing, everything is in there on the website, okay? If you have any issues finding that, please, Derek, give us a call, let us know, and we'll walk you through that process, okay? The camp store is also open, kidventure.shopify. That store right now has just about everything. We're waiting on these hats to come in, and bucket hats, but you can start ordering. Those are shipped directly to your house. I mentioned earlier that we give every camper a free shirt. That free shirt is going to be available to get towards the end of this month. We'll send you out a special coupon code that you're able to go into the store with and get that shirt with, okay, and have that sent right to you. All right. Anything else, Molly? I'm missing. Any other questions, y'all? We do have 2 more of these live streams at least scheduled. We might have another one we're thinking about. But the next one is going to be, that's wrong, Wednesday, April 7th. Oh, that's right. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's totally wrong. The next one is going to be
Wednesday is right.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So disregard that. Next Wednesday at noon is going to be Leads. Leads is our teen program for 13 through 16-year-olds. Takes place in Houston. Austin and Dallas, you can skip that one unless you just want the information. And this is a real important one. I think this really helps out parents. Wednesday, May 17th, preparing for camp. We'll do a live stream on this. This kind of has to do with how to prepare for your first day of camp. What does drop-off look like? What does pickup look like? What's our security measures? What do you need to bring that first day? How's that going to be? So that's a really good one. Mark that on your calendar. That's going to be Wednesday, May 17th at noon, okay? I think maybe we have a couple more questions that came in.
I see one from Sarah. Do Discoverers do field trips? They do not. Our Discoverers, those 3 to 5s, a little too young to do field trips. They will have guest speakers, so they can have a little bit of a field trip feel. Those are also listed on the website for each site. Also, we had that live stream yesterday all about Discoverers, and that one is recorded and on the Facebook page as well if you want to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine 3 to 5-year-olds on a field trip. That seems to me like
it's like herding cats. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know.
No. So no Discoverers on field trips, only Explorers. Okay. Any other questions you guys have? These are all really great questions, by the way. And let me reiterate too. When you call KidVenture, you get a nice warm voice. You get somebody who's going to help you out over the phone or reply to your email quickly and efficiently. So please feel free. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Now's a really good time to do those questions and ask those questions, because if you wait until like the last week of May, when everybody else is trying to ask those questions, it might be harder to get in. So please take the opportunity to call us, email us, however you want to do it. We're here for you, and that's what we're going to do is answer all those questions and get you real comfortable with camp.
And another resource for questions as well, if you go to our parent guide on the website and click on those FAQs, we have a nice long list of, frequently asked questions for day camp, overnight camp, all of that, pretty detailed in there as well. But of course, if your question isn't on there, please feel free to give us a call. Yeah, and speaking of that, one more thing I want to talk about before we go is communication. We're really big on communication. And outside of camp, obviously, it's calling us, it's emailing us, and it's using the website. Inside camp, it's a weekly newsletter. We'll be sending you a weekly newsletter on Thursday, every Thursday before the next week you're attending. Okay, so on Thursday, it gets emailed to you, and it also shows up in your camp app. If you have not downloaded the KidVenture Camp app, you can download that from the Apple Store or from Google Play. That camp app is going to do a few things for you. Number one, it's going to provide you with notifications from camp, okay, which is super important. And then the next thing is we take pictures during camp. It's a great way for you to keep up with what your kid is doing at camp. We won't be taking pictures every second of the day. If you call us at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning, we probably won't have any pictures up yet. But those directors take pictures. We post those in the day and towards the end of the day. It's a great thing, and our parents love it. And then the other thing is to receive things like newsletters. You can also register directly from the app as well. So if you just search KidVenture Camp at Apple Store, Google Play, download that app. It's a great idea. Do that now, okay, if you're planning on coming to camp.
All right. Really appreciate you being with us today. Thank you very much for your time. It's always great to share our information with our parents and love this opportunity. This is recorded. We'll have it on Facebook, and it'll also land on our YouTube page. Where it's a great, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, it's probably a good place to do. We have a lot of recordings on there as well too. So find those there. And we look forward to the next live stream. Thank you guys very much. Have a great Easter weekend or Passover, however you're celebrating. And we look forward to seeing everybody. Take care.